In today's video, we're going to look at a brand spanking new extension from Weeblr. As you can see, Yannick Gaultier is here with me, and he is announcing this new extension here on the channel, which is great. Nice to have a world exclusive. I got robbed the last time he launched a new one. Someone else got to announce it. But anyway, so looking excited to look forward to that. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Watch Me Work livestream number 281 here on the Basic Joomla channel, where I show you my favorite extensions, tools, and tips for building and maintaining Joomla sites. Also work on Joomla sites. If you're looking to hire someone short-term, long-term, just get you on the spot. Send me an email, tim@cybersalt.com, and let's talk. In fact, I think I can just bring up my address there, but that's it because we're using Zoom today. Today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, mysites.guru. Do you have a Joomla site? Of course you do. Well, if you don't, you should get one. Head on over to mysites.guru, get a free site audit for check out all the tools and information that'll save you time and money managing one or multiple Joomla sites there on mysites.guru. All right, let's go back. Welcome, Yannick.
Thank you.
Oh, there you go.
Thank
yeah,
you.
He's there.
Yeah. I was here.
Now,
I was just
this is
doing things around.
This is your fifth time here on live stream, and so I don't know if anybody watched Saturday Night Live a couple of weeks ago, but they had a skit for the people that were joining the 5-time hosting club. So that was kind of funny. But anyway, so you've been on 5 times, more than anybody else, and so I have rewarded you with your own playlist on my channel. So
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And I do remember last time, about a year ago, when I launched 4Command, that you were not that happy that I committed to somebody else. I show it like the first time around. So yeah, it was important to come back here and get my 5th.
Yeah, and it was
my own membership to the club. So
it was all good fun too, because it was Joe Sunny for the Small Business Joomla user group, and when you told me you had a new one and told me to check it out, and I said, oh, can you show it on the channel? And you had promised to show it first there, so that's all right. It's all good fun. Now, so the plan for today, Yannick is very brave because I'm going to install the extension. I have not looked at it. As you know, I put a lot of preparation in my live streams usually. Anyways, I wonder if I can move myself over here. But anyways, I'm going to install it, check it out on a little test site. But we also later on have a site that's got a lot more analytics on it that Yannick has set up for us to check out. So hello to Imran. Imran, I was once again wondering if you were alive. I hadn't heard from you for, I don't know, it's like a couple of months. So good to see Imran in chat here. Bjorn, Valerie, Mark DeChevre is here. Mark, I might send you a Zoom link for you to hop in later on, because I know that Yannick, Mark did a lot of testing on this extension for you, right?
yes, that's correct.
Good.
That's correct. He was instrumental. He even suggested some features or complained that these features were not in, so I had to do things about that. So he's been instrumental, I would say, in the last part of the development.
Good. Now, I think Mark's been on the channel twice, so he's got a ways to go to catch up. But
Yep.
and we'll talk later on about J-Day USA, because you're coming to the States for that. Mark's going to be there. I'm traveling to Washington from Canuck Land. Okay, and so hello to Serge and Derek. Good to see everybody here. All right, so I'm going to... and Michael. There you go, but only for an hour. Now, I need to find... It's a little bit different... First of all, let me put on some better glasses for seeing my screen here. And I just have to find Zoom. And I'm going to share my screen. This is a little bit different how we usually do it. But,
Yep, you're on.
okay. Can you see it full screen?
Yes, it's pretty good. Yeah, we are still on the side. We can see
Okay.
the thumbnails on the side, but it's I think it's okay.
Are we?
Maybe
Okay.
people in the chat can comment, but I think it's pretty okay.
Okay, let's see. It's not okay. What's not okay there, Serge? I can't see the preview of what we're seeing here. Let me just.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
okay.
what's the OBS camera is not showing what we see on the OBS is the OBS logo, as if the.
Okay. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got it now.
All right. So now it's gone. Now it's there. All right. So I'm just going to show. That's actually me not screen sharing. That's just me. Well, it's not share. Okay. Sorry. It's always a little bit different with Zoom here. So I'm going to stop that. Now we see you. Okay. I see what I have to do here. And then we'll go to there. All right. That'll work. All right. So here we are at Weeblr.com. I want to paste that into the link there. And Yannick, how is it that you do not have a wrench? I'm going to make you a moderator so you can share things. There we go. We won't do the wrench ceremony right now, but you can now share links on YouTube. So Weeblr.com, you can head over there. We're going to scroll down. It's number 2 on the page. Why are you doing this No, not alphabetical. How did it end up number 2?
Because you're on the home page, so I have all my extensions. It was redone just recently, so
okay, gotcha.
Just recently means like early, like 4 hours before. I did it this morning. Yeah, it's always a hard. I love them all, so it's hard to find an ordering. But
so every now and then you let a different kid sit in the front seat. That's how it is, right?
I can do that now. Before I had a different layout and was not possible. So now it's easy, and I can probably do that.
Okay. All right. 4Analytics, private analytics for Joomla. It's a state-of-the-art Joomla extension that provides fully private analytics out of the box. Replaces Google Analytics, Matimo, a bunch of others you have listed there. Does not record personal information. Doesn't use any cookie. So it's therefore a cookie consent extension is not needed. All data safely stored in your server. Setup is done with just one click, and you see reports
we're going to see
on screen.
That.
Yes.
Hopefully setup is done with one click.
All right. Now, Yannick and I have sort of a bit of a running joke here, and I think someone said that your volume is low. I'm not sure what to do about. I think I can. That might be a bit louder there. We'll monitor when.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay, yeah, I turned you up there, so everyone can let me know. All right. Well, so we have sort of a running thing because every now and then when I ask Yannick for help through a support ticket, he says, "Oh, it's in the documentation," and we all know that I'm a video person. I'm a lover, not a reader. So I'm just going to throw myself in here, but I am going to try to do better. And with Yannick here, he's going to guide me to the resources so you all can find those resources better too. So here is the Joomla 5 site. I've been beating up for a long time on tutorials. I need to reset it. So you're going to see a bunch of crazy things on the page here. And this is what the home page looks like currently. But we will go System and install extensions. I've already downloaded to my computer just before the stream. So I'm going to drag that in here. And we're going to experience this all together. Thanks for trusting 4Analytics. That's a great line. When people send me their login information, when I'm working on their sites, one of the first things I say to them is, "Thanks for trusting me with your login." I think that's a really powerful thing to say. Visit the main component page, set it up. Okay, it's installed successfully. It's not yet measuring. 4Analytics comes with a default measurement configuration that tracks all guest visitors on all pages. With this default configuration, logged in users are automatically excluded. Okay. So, should I configure it myself to see the options?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you great. Yeah.
Okay, because the image, I don't have any image, or my image has frozen. So I'm going to restart OBS probably to try and fix that.
Yep.
But if you can hear me, we're good. I can
Okay.
see. I'm seeing what you're doing. So hopefully, I can just guide
Okay.
you somehow, and I'll recover.
All right. So 4Analytics is not measuring anything. Review all configuration options using configuration menu. And Yannick, they say your volume's good. Yeah, I turned you up here on OBS here. So thanks, Valerie, for helping with that. All right. Set up, review all configuration options using configuration menu, then set up tracking rule under configuration rules to start measuring traffic. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We have summary. Okay, we've got the traffic for dates, disabled already, first to last period. Great. We have different views, simple or detailed. And we've got the selected period or week. Great. And things you did. No measurement rule enabled. All right. So you do not have any active tracking rule at the moment. 4Analytics is not measuring traffic to your site. Enable at least one measurement rule under configuration tracking rules. Okay, that's going to be over here. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you still hear me?
I hear you.
Sorry, can you still? Okay, I'm still, working on OBS. I was not looking at what you did, so I gather you did not take the option enable the default configuration, right? Which would have done it for you and nothing else to do. That would have been too simple.
Well, I can go back and do that, can't I?
I don't think so. If you close the wizard, it's gonna be be gone. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I did that just for us to look at the settings here. So, all right. So let's set up a rule here. We'll get things going. People can visit the site. Tracking rules. All pages, guests only, and we have an on-off here. So if I turn that on, that's now tracking. And if we look in here, here's the name of it. When you have multiple rules, you can place which one gets processed first, and we can keep some notes about the rules. It should run on all pages. All right. And so down here, it's showing, with some conditions. Okay, run on all pages. Oh, you can exclude it from tracking some pages. That's nice.
Yeah, this is the usual system that you've seen on other extensions like for SEO and other things. So you can you can exclude things or include them by URLs. That's what you're looking at now. And if you scroll down, which is probably what you want to do first, if you scroll down and you go to the other things that are below, you can exclude for some home addresses when there are several. You can exclude. You can have separate configurations for language, per component, and what you really want to look at always is run for these users, because the users you never want to, for instance, measure yourself, or in most cases. So if you open user groups, you can select which groups you want the measurement to take place for.
Okay, so I can say,
so here by default it's going to be guests.
Yeah.
You can include or exclude things, only some groups or others. You can also exclude, it's common, by IP addresses. So for instance, if you scroll down a little bit, again, you have a button to include or exclude, you see?
Okay.
You can restrict the measurement to some IP addresses, or you can exclude your own IP address or a list of IP address. So if you click on that, for instance, right now, on the exclude your current IP addresses, you would not measure anything coming from your own browser. So it's going to make things a little bit confusing.
Now, is it nothing is showing up in there when I click on that? Is that?
It should. Yeah.
Hold on. Now I'm using Brave browser, and the shields are up for this site for some reason. So let me refresh here. Maybe that was blocking.
I don't know.
Rules. Okay. When to run. And we go down here.
your own name on yeah.
Just see, run on
These
enable
users.
rule.
These users.
These users, okay.
Look, scroll down. I'm not sure I'm live.
There we go. Yeah, that's you are. So there you go. It did work. So what I had
Okay.
Brave browser, it was blocking showing my IP.
Yeah,
So
okay. So the thing is, you don't want to leave that here. You want to remove these IP addresses because you're actually, you're in the run for these IP addresses.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
So you are only including measurement from this. So in any case, you want to remove that.
Yeah.
And the real usage is going to be do not run for these IP addresses, which is just below.
Yeah.
And that's when, for instance, you want to exclude measurement for your office or for your client offices or something like that. And it's really easy because you just click a button. They don't have to figure out what is their IP address. You just click the button.
Because I have seen stats on sites that have had a huge increase in traffic when I've been working on them for the client because it's tracking all my activities. So this is great.
Yeah, absolutely. But usually you don't really need to care about IP addresses.
Yeah.
You're just going to. The most important really is to have to measure only guests, not logged in users.
Okay.
And there are cases where you actually want to measure some some logged in users. Mark mentioned that to me earlier because he had a case where they actually want to measure logged in users, but that's really easy to do in that way. I'm really mad because OBS doesn't want to restart. It's dying on me. I don't know exactly what to do.
Okay.
I'm going to stop the camera.
Sure.
And
all right. So basically,
restart from scratch.
So, and now again, here, this is an extension where, do I need to hit save up here? Or is it just automatically saving my changes? Okay, so measurement options, only use the URL path. So, or do you want to just see, okay, only if enabled, only the path and pages addresses will be used to measure traffic. The path is the part before the question mark. So if you've got blog question mark and a referral there, and if you say no, then you have other. You can put in other variables. So for instance, this is an example of Facebook, something that's shared on Facebook, and so you could do that. So we will just accept only the URL path. Oh yeah, and Bjorn points out I haven't made any changes. Okay, tracking code for other. You can use the following code to track other non-Joomla websites for this installation. This is only for other non-Joomla websites. Do not include this code into your template or anywhere on this website. Well, that's pretty cool. So you can track traffic through. You could put this on an HTML page on your site if you had something separate. We might have lost Yannick, but that's okay. He's going to come back. Tracking. Oh, so you could put this code on a non-Joomla website, and you could still track the information in your report things there. Cool. And if we say no, oh yeah, when I click no, then I have the option to save, but we haven't changed anything. All right, everybody. Well, let's just do some. I'm going to paste this here. And then if you want to go let's go to the site and bomb around and do some clicking here. And we'll get populate a few pages. Oh, that's broken. Don't worry about things. Oh, that's broken too. Log in, read more.
Okay, sorry, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still fighting with OBS on the side.
That's okay.
I think I'm not going to be able to share my screen actually or do anything like that, unfortunately.
Okay. No problem. All right, so that's the tracking rules for configuration. Measuring. Apply all analytics configurations. Yes. View visits and users. Views, visits, and user detection. May not always be possible to accurately identify returning users and visits depending on the browser they use and other technical factors. But so a new user, someone's determined to be a new user if they visit within 180 days. Okay. A second time. Visit durations. When the same user views several pages on your site within the selected visit duration, this is considered the same visit. All right. So if someone's on the site and then they go to another page 25 minutes later, we consider that one visit. But if they come back an hour later under this setting, it'd be viewed as a second visit, and we can change that time. Visitor engagement. May not always be possible to accurately identify returning users and visits depending on the browser they use and other technical factors. So minimum page view duration. All right, so if someone's on a page for 5 seconds, it gets counted as a page view. If I change this to 20 seconds and they were on a page for 18 seconds, it would not record that as a page view. So that's kind of a neat metric in order to, because I see in Google Analytics the average page view, the average time spent on a page is like 7 seconds. But there are people that'll be on for a couple of minutes. So there's people that are reading and people that aren't. So depending on what you want to know, maximum page view duration. 30 minutes. Page views that are longer than the selected duration be counted with unknown duration. So if a visitor stays on a page for 30 or 45 minutes, this is probably a browser window that was left open without anyone looking. They maybe fell asleep reading stuff that I was writing. So, after 30 minutes, that's it. You're not tracking page views anymore. Minimum scrolling to trigger page engagement. A visitor will be considered engaged with a page if they click a button or perform a keyboard action or scroll down the page at least the selected distance. So if they scroll down 50% of the page, that is counted as visitor engagement, as a page engagement.
Yes, that's correct.
Nice.
Either if they click a button or type something on their keyboard or scroll down more than 50% of the page. Either,
cool.
Any of these actions.
Mark said, yes, you can track external websites. In his case, he uses to track the slides.wolaweb.be, which is not Joomla. It's pure HTML for his presentations, and it's tracked on his main Joomla website. Very cool. That's a neat feature. Exclude non-important bots. When enabled bots that 4Analytics can recognize a few thousands will not be included in any traffic measurement. Useful bots such as search engines, bots from main social networks, or known AI bots will be included, but counted separately from normal visitors. Okay, so you have a list of good bots, bad bots, all the bots, or a bunch of the bots.
The good bots are actually listed here because essentially the only bots that you consider good are search engines, the bots from the main social networks like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever, and nowadays we have the AI bots as well, which we don't know whether they are good or bad, but they are here.
They're there,
and so these guys are measured separately, and then there's all the other hundreds of different bots that we can exclude, that we normally would exclude automatically. I mean, I put a setting here, but I don't see why you would want to not exclude them.
Because they're not. For some people, I have one client right now. I'll just describe very generally. He's excited by the numbers. So if bad bots. So, for instance, he had some traffic coming from China. It was bad traffic. It was not any of any use. And I suggested, hey, why don't we block traffic from China? No one from China is going to go to his business. No one's interested in it. But he did not want to block anything. I think part of it was because he just liked his theory was the more traffic he got, the more Google would see that he was popular and they would send more traffic, which doesn't work that way. But anyways, so it's a bit of an, yeah, the analytics is a bit, stats can be a bit of an emotional thing for people. They just like the numbers and they just, don't worry about traffic.
We may look at that. Yeah, we may look at that later if I manage to share my screen and show you things.
Okay.
But what's really, really, really different with 4Analytics is that it's focused on actual visitors.
Yeah, okay.
So you can absolutely expect your numbers, page views and things like that to be divided like by 2.
Yeah. Yes.
Because, there's something, for instance, that few people realize, and I didn't realize until I started using it on live sites, but on some days on Weeblr.com, and I think Mark also saw that on some of his websites, 1/3 of the page views were from Amazon, Anthropic, and ChatGPT bots.
Okay.
1/3.
No.
Okay? They have like spurs. They have days where they go and loads like half of your website, and later, and some days they don't come at all. But so the bots traffic is really high. And my goal here, one of my goals, was to provide you with numbers on the real visitors, because those are the ones you want to talk to.
Yeah. Now, interesting. Another client that I have, and he's been getting hacked over and over again. He came to me with his site hacked. I've done stuff for him in the past. He's doing his own site, but we determined that it was hackers from Malaysia and Indonesia that were accessing the file in the site, and we've removed quite a few hacked things, but still have not found the file what they were doing. We found in the user logs that they had created a super user account. We saw the IP and saw where it was from, and he has a business on the east coast of the States. And I said to him, okay, hey, listen, we can allow only traffic from the US and Canada, so it's easier for me to work on a site, and this is going to block out all these other things. And I said, but your traffic numbers may go down because things have been being tracked, all these attacks and stuff. And he's a businessman, and he said, yeah, that's fine, just block that. So yeah, so that's good to know. Now Valerie said, can you spend a bit of time telling us exactly what's being tracked? And I'm sure you'll do that along the way. And she doesn't use any tracking, but I like what you just said, Yannick, that this is tracking real people, and as we see here, important bots that we want to know about.
Yeah.
Okay, reporting. The week starts on Monday. You pick a day it starts. That's cool. You can send reports, daily reports, to an email address.
Tim, I see see the Zoom, not your screen.
Yeah, that's because I switched just when we were talking for such a long time. Yeah, okay, I switched to reporting here. We went from measuring. We were just talking about the different options here. Here, insert script, measurement script. I didn't go that far. Okay.
This one is simple, and again, that's one of the things that you probably don't want to touch. It's whether the small JavaScript snippet that 4Analytics use, whether it's going to be directly injected into the page or whether it's going to be a linked script file coming, a different load page. There is no real reason to change that either. To be honest, all the tracking rules and measuring sections, you normally don't want to touch that.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to try later to show you. Yeah, I later when I share my screen, I'm going to try to install it on another website.
Sure.
And to show you how it is, the normal installation when you're not Tim Davis and you don't want to go through every single configuration page. I'm going to try and do that.
All right. So what I hear a touch of pain in Yannick's voice. He wants everyone to know it's super easy to set up. Just go with the default things. Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Yeah, so we don't want anyone to look at this and say, "Oh, that's too complicated. I'm not using it," because you've got it simple for just setting up. So, all right. Mark says on a website where he has 23,000 visits already in this month, 46% of the traffic is AI. Huh.
Yeah, it's different from one place to another.
That's because Mark is so smart, and the robots just really want to be like him. So they're the word's out. Hey, whereas probably AI, they know if they've watched my live streams, they just tell each other stay away from there. There's no intelligence to get. So. All right, reporting. So we'll get a report sent to us, and that's really cool. You could have your email address, a client's email address, and say, hey,
can you scroll up a bit? So what's happening here at the very top? Yeah, there's a small delay. At the very top, you can select whether the week for your report starts on Monday or Saturday, Sunday, and so on. Because of course it's different in various places in the world. And then you've got these 3 boxes where you just enter email addresses for daily reports, weekly reports, and monthly reports. And the people, these addresses are going to receive a summary of what happened either during the last day or the last week or the last month. And I'll show you that. I can show you examples of that later.
Yeah, because you've got that.
So this is meant, and these people, they don't have to, when they view when they receive the email, there's a summary with a few numbers, and then there are links. They click the links, and they can go and view the full report, but they don't have to log in.
Oh, nice.
Just the link is like a magic link, and the link is enough to see. So it means people don't even have to have an account on the site.
I like that.
So top management and people, anyone can get a link. There's some security around it, but
everybody, Yannick,
that's the general idea.
Yannick has a link up here too, where you can watch a video where he goes through different things too. So that's a really great resource to have. We'll hide the video. Cool. Okay, so include links to online report. That's what you're talking about there. If you want to reset the online reports links password, you can do that, and fill the line chart areas. Great. Database. Oh, now Derek asked a question. Artists and authors don't usually want their work scraped by AI. In such cases, can AI bots be blocked?
Not with 4Analytics. 4Analytics is a measurement system. You would have to look at 4SEO for that.
Okay, so 4SEO is an extension that can block that. And okay. So analytics does not store any personal identifiable information, so you can keep the raw data, which for a period. Okay, wants to keep aggregate data. Okay. So if I keep raw data for 3 months, but keep aggregate data for 36 months, so basically I would have this would be the raw data is very drilled down specific, everything that happened, and the aggregate data is just things that have been collected and sorted and compiled.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So the raw data is just the individual page views. Each time somebody views a page on your site, there's a row of data that's written to the database, and that's raw data. And of course, if you've got 50,000 visitors per day or views per day, then you've got 50,000 rows in the database table. So that can amount to a lot. Mm-hmm. And so what 4Analytics does is that every now and then it compiles these data by day or by week, and by week and by month and by year. And of course, the summary, you've got one. Then you go down to having one row per day and one row per week and one row per month, and so that's much less. So that you can keep for a much longer time. And the aggregate data it's the result of the compilation. So it's what you see in reports and charts and graphics.
Okay. It probably might even, for really big sites, it might be nice to have just 1 month. but
I don't know. Yeah, there wasn't even a forever. So we are focusing on the volume of data, but that's not so much the important point here. You may know or not that if you're using Google Analytics, you can only keep data for up to 14 months. That's changing on a regular basis because they're a third-party provider. They cut you down, and you may keep the data for longer period of times when you're using the paid version of Google Analytics, but not the free version. And it means it's kind of limiting for you because you don't have historical data. And because here the data is on your server, you can keep it for as long as you want. And also because it's private, or there is no private information stored, you can keep it as long as you want, even if you are in the EU and there's the GDPR operating. You can still keep the data for as long as you want because there's no private personal identifiable information in the database.
Okay.
That's also why you can, if you're in the US, you can keep your analytics even if you have traffic from the EU because there's no private information.
My only thought about having a lesser period is that if sometimes, since it's stored in the database, sometimes the database gets huge and not everybody's sites are super fast with that, and especially that's the slow part of doing an Akiba backup or whatever, but I hear you.
So that won't have, just to mention, because you said fast, that won't have any impact on the speed. The database can grow large, and that's a problem because when you do a backup, it takes space, and it takes longer to do the backup. But having a 1 gigabyte of data in the raw data table is not going to slow down the site. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. Now, one of the first things I do when I install one of your extensions is I go and I change it to orange.
Oh, you like the orange?
Yeah.
I like the purple and the green. But go ahead. One thing that's if you scroll down a bit, you'll see auto clear notifications.
Yeah. Yes.
That one you want to have. Otherwise, you have to close manually all the notifications.
Yeah, that's another one I do. And logging level, cron key. What's the cron running here? Compiling reports.
Okay, so you don't need that because there's just like for SEO, there is a background process that's triggered by the reporting, so it's always running. You can have a physical cron job as a backup, but really you don't need it.
Okay.
It's fine. I was thinking about removing that actually. So.
Okay. You're making a little note there. All right. So now let's go back to, we've had some people clicking here. We've been, being viewed by 10 humans who have been 2 visits, 2 visitors, 90% engaged. Search engine views, average visit duration 38 seconds, average view duration 7 seconds because we just had people bombing around on things, average of 5 views per visit, no errors, 10 bounces. Now, do you want to tell everyone what a bounce is?
Okay, the bounce is when somebody comes to your site, view one page, and then they leave.
Yeah.
And we have not seen them yet coming back to view another page.
Yeah.
That's when a bounce happen. And that's always changing because right now we have these bounces, but if one of these visitors comes back and view another page, then one bounce will be removed. It's not going to be a bounce anymore.
Okay. Now I'm just
that won't appear. You can see the small clock on the right side. There's a countdown.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the data is reloaded automatically. So when it comes to 0, it will reload and it will rebuild the aggregate data. So that's always changing. So nice. That's how it works. If you want now, I can try and share. My screen.
Yeah.
If we can switch to the other site and
Now, I just wanted to show you that I just went on my phone and brought up the page, and I hit the
yeah.
refresh up here, and now it's showing one mobile view. It probably added me as a human, although because it maybe doesn't know that that's me.
Yeah.
Source bounce. Okay.
Okay. There's something, but I need to show it to you. There's something I need to explain because of these tests you are doing. You may not see what you expect, but it's a good thing. So I need to explain that to you by showing it. It's
Sure.
not hard, but I need to show it to you.
Yeah. So you go ahead and share your screen, and we'll.
Yeah. I hope it's gonna work. And
if not, I have access to the same site, but we'll see.
Sure.
All right. So
okay. Let me try and share this screen.
We'll just watch there. Yeah, and now let me just figure out how to get rid of us at the top so we can make it bigger. And I just have to do that on the controls here. Let's see. View pro note off. What am I doing here? I can hide myself. Remove pin. Show hide self view. And then probably I can. I don't know what to do here with this. Add pin, replace initial. I think we'll just.
No worries.
We'll just live with you at the top there.
Yeah, I think it's fine. We'll just go from there. So before I get to the things I wanted to show to you, I'm going to very quickly. This is a site where there is no 4Analytics yet. I'm going to drag the package here, let it upload, install. You go to the component page. You see the wizard which you skipped over earlier. But I'm going to enable default configuration, then continue to 4Analytics, and that's it.
It's as easy as
that. At this point, you are measuring traffic, and what you're doing is measuring traffic for all visitors on all pages, or not all visitors, but on all pages only for guest users. So all logged in users are excluded, and you don't have to copy paste any snippet or do anything. That's what happens when you click on enable default configuration.
And that was so you think that's better than what I did?
I would suggest that most people actually take the shorter way, because at any point then you can just go back to the rule and change it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I hear you.
It's totally fine. You can change everything, but all the defaults are usually what you want to stay with. And if you want to change away from the defaults, then you know what you're doing, and everything is there for you. One thing I wanted to mention before I move to the results is, like you said, there is the help video here. There's the link to the online documentation, and every time you go to a parameter, if there is a help button, like right here, if you open that, then you are shown the actual documentation. So for people who don't want to go and read documentation, this is a focused way of accessing the documentation, because you're shown directly the exact help text or documentation on the setting you're working with. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, so for this site, that's it. I just wanted to show you how it worked when you install it and enable the defaults. And so on this other site, which is another test site, we've made a small program to simulate traffic. So that's not real traffic; it's something that's simulated. When you arrive here or you open 4Analytics, you're shown by default the last completed period of time. By default, it shows you a week. Here you have a duration period that you can select, the day, the week, or the month of year. And here you can navigate through the period. By default, it shows you the last completed week, so that's last week. Because of course, normally when you're looking at analytics, you want to compare things that can be compared. So you're normally looking at a completed period. So you look at a last or at yesterday, or you look at last week, and so on. Then the other important setting here, or toggle, is the simple versus detailed selector. And the simple is obviously the summary. Here we are on summary, simple. So that's what most people will want at first, because that's where you have the most important numbers. I think Creative World was asking what numbers are tracked. The numbers are usually fairly typical. How many pages were viewed by humans? I think I can scroll that a bit, zoom that a bit. The views by humans, how many visits were made. So we had 236 views by humans on that particular week. And that was done through 94 visits. And visits is a period of 30 minutes where the same user comes back and views a series of pages. And we had 94 visitors doing this. The number of visitors and the number of visits may not be the same always, because some people may come in the morning and then they come in the afternoon, and that's 2 visits. A less usual number is engaged, and I don't think you can find that easily anywhere else. It's a metric that I think is important. Okay, yeah, I see a question, and I'm going to get back then to this. So that's the numbers you have, and the detail, if you switch details, then you have more detailed numbers, like how many search engines, how many pages search engines looked onto your site that particular week, the average visit duration, average view duration, the number of views per visit, which are metrics you want to track, how many errors, how many bounces, and then the source, the global numbers on visitors by type, humans, social bots, search engines, AI bots, and other bots, which should stay at 0 if you elected to exclude the other bots. The chart here are very nice, I think. You can select which numbers you want to display and allow your to view the variation over time. If I switch to a month, I'm going to switch to December because January is not complete. Then you have all the information here. This is, you remember, you had a setting on fill the chart. If you fill the chart, this is filled chart. And if you have more than 2 metrics displayed, like if I had the errors or the bounces, for instance, then it switches to not filling up the charts because it's harder to view.
Okay.
If you have too many things like that. So I'm going to remove that.
Do you
interesting?
Do you have anything here that shows where traffic came from or how someone got to your page, referral?
Yeah. You see, you've got summary, you've got visitors, you've got sources, and you've got content. These are the 4 main reports.
Okay.
The last thing I want to show on the on each graphs is that if you see something special, like, I don't know, this one here on December 17, you can click on it. So we are looking at the month. We see the day, Tuesday 17th, has something. So I can click anywhere near it, and I'm switched to the week that includes that particular day. And if I go, I want to click just to see what's happening on that particular week. And I can drill down to that particular day from there.
Wow.
Okay? Where I have the details for just that day. And you can navigate quite quickly, let's say to month.
That's really cool because I've seen spikes on traffic and I thought, oh, I wonder what happened that day. And there's just no way for me to really go back and look.
Yeah. This allows these allow quick navigation. You can switch to month. You go back here, and then if you want to, we are at June. We can switch back to a week, and it's going to stay in June, like the first week of June, from 27 May to 2nd June. So the navigation tries to be smart, and it allows a very quick navigation through the time we have data for. You can go back to the first period we have data for here very quickly. So I'm going to get back to simple here. Visitors, you've got a series of reports that show you what your visitors did. So it's essentially the same thing. How many data on how much time they spend on your pages, number of views per visit, whether they were engaged, what visitors,
I've just
I see a black screen now.
Yeah, somehow I've made you disappear. Hold on for a sec here. Let me start the virtual camera again. Oh my goodness. I just lost you there. Let's see here. Okay, what did we do? Okay, there we go. You're back.
Okay, good. So yeah, and the usual languages and countries, the languages they are speaking. In here with our simulated data, there's only English in US because that's what I, sent when I simulated the traffic. But you'll have a bunch of languages here, and then you've got a map with the countries, and you can, navigate around and see where your people are coming from, and you have the same list here, the same information here, and as a table, as a data table. And then if you switch to detailed, you've got more details about. Okay, that's a complicated number. You've got a percentile. It's a different way of looking at how much time they spent on your site. It's a bit. Yeah, we'll talk about that another time. And then you've got the usual data about their devices, which browser they are using, screen resolution, and which operating system they are using. I'm gonna switch zoom a little bit on that. Okay, and then you've got because it's important to know your visitors, but it's also important to know where they are coming from. So here we've got the big categories. Search engines, other websites. There's no such data in my sample here. Coming directly to your website from social networks and from AI assistants. You've got a list here of the website sending you traffic. Sorry. There's no data here in my sample data, but you from other websites. But if somebody is coming to that site from cybersalt.com or from Weeblr.com, that's where it will appear. Then you've got the traffic coming from search engines, traffic's coming from social networks and from AI assistants. Obviously, there's not much right now, but traffic from social assistants is if somebody is on ChatGPT and ChatGPT or Gemini, and there is a reference to a page, and they click inside of ChatGPT or Gemini and arrive at your site based on that. So these are the websites sending you traffic, and these here are the specific pages sending you traffic from these websites, which is a more accurate view of knowing which pages are sending you traffic. And okay, well, I see your questions. We'll get back to that.
Yeah. Everyone, just put your questions in chat, and we'll be sure to get to them.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. So, and then finally, report on your content. I'm going to switch back to simple. It's the usual. Which are your most viewed pages? Pages where the visitors arrives at when they arrive at your website. Where are they arriving? And pages where they leave. Which are the pages they leave from? And if you go to detailed, you got a bit more information, which I consider important because I'm an SEO guy, and that tells you which pages. It's similar. It's the same. Earlier here, I talked about the pages that your real visitors were looking at, and here I'm showing you the pages search engines and other bots are visiting. So these are the pages, and you can go down to, you can see up to 20 pages. These are the pages search engines are viewing the most. These are the pages AI bots are viewing the most, and these are the pages that social bots are viewing the most. Okay, so these are the reports that you have, but as we've seen, or as we've mentioned, you can view them differently. So all the pages here, you've got that small icon here where you can, it's a printer. I hope it's a printer. And if you click that, it opens up in a separate tab. This simplified view. It's the same data actually, but it's a simpler layout. Exactly, this is the full report that the report that you were looking at. And if you press print, then you can typically, I would save them as PDF. The PDF is nicely formatted so that the charts and the tables are not cut off by pages. There's a header and things. So that's something you can actually save and provide to your customers or save for your records. There will be some more customization, I think, in the future, but right now that's where we're at. This works well with the most common browsers. I had trouble with Firefox at the start, but I think it's going well now. So that's the report printing, and then I think that's the last thing I want to show to you is the. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of traffic, but this one. This is a sample of the kind of summary report you're going to receive is if you put your email address in one of these input fields. This is January 6, January 12, so this is a weekly report, and so you automatically, like, this is a weekly report, so my weeks are from Monday to Sunday. So on Monday morning, this will be sent out to all the people who registered for it. And you've got 8 basic numbers. How many views, visits, visitors, how many were engaged, average visit duration, view duration, errors, and bounces, with the change in percentage compared to the previous week. And then at the bottom, you can view or print this report, or you can view the detailed version of that report. So if I click here, I am back to this page that we saw earlier, and that your user can print. And again, I can open this in a private window, if you will, to see that you don't need to be logged in, and you don't need to access the backend or anything to view that. And you can print from there. And for the record, these links expire 30 days after they have been generated.
Okay.
Okay. So what else? Yeah, maybe I think that's all for me. So there are a couple of questions here I can see.
Yeah. Let's do the last one because it's related to the stats here. Valerie asks, if a visitor is being spammy or on your website, distorting your metrics, is there a way to isolate and remove their impact, like they're an outlier, if you don't know their IP address?
Okay, there's no. I am at this point, I haven't seen that being a problem, but it could happen. I don't remove outliers. That is, I don't trim the extreme values because it's kind of hard to do without any basis. Usually, you try and figure out the IP address of the people in question.
Is there a place that you can see everything that a user has viewed based on?
No.
No? Okay.
No. This is an analytics package. It's not meant to track people behavior.
Yeah, I just figured if they
to be
were
clear.
using if they were like, you could see a path that they took on when they were visiting or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit too much information to store, for one thing, and it's not that it's really hard to. It's something like a heat map where people are clicking and how they are traveling through your website. There are tools for that I suggest using, like Clarity from Microsoft.
Yeah.
But again, if you start doing that, then there's not a chance that you are GDPR compliant, and you're back with having a need to get a cookie banner extension,
Right.
which I'm not sure we mentioned that, but if you're using 4Analytics, you don't need a cookie banner
Okay.
at all. You may need it for other things on your website, but for analytics, you won't need a cookie banner and therefore a cookie extension
Okay.
for that reason.
Now, the other thing that Valerie asked,
Yeah.
Mark was mentioning, is 4Analytics tracking site-wide or a given web page or whatever you want?
Okay, so it's entirely up to you. It's based off of rules, and most people will just have one rule, the one that's created by default, that measures all pages only for guests. If you don't want that, if you want to only measure traffic on some parts of your website, for instance, in my case, in Weeblr.com, I'll probably don't want to measure traffic on the help desk where people are entering tickets, because it's not, how can I say, I don't really care that much about how many having statistics on how much time they spend there, because it's just tickets, support tickets. So I don't really need to measure that. So I could exclude that. And you do that by going to the rule details and selecting when to run that rule. So here, for instance, I could say run on these pages, but do not run on helpdesk /star. If I'm going back to the example I mentioned on our website. So this is where you define what should be excluded. And you have many ways to do that. You can say, I want to track in this particular way, because that's combined with what to do here. You can limit to languages, to some components. For instance, you're not going to want to record information for banners. I don't know, I'm saying, and things like that. Or guided tours in the back end. So that's how you would exclude or include things. You could
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
And
for
you've
measuring,
got,
I'm not sure.
You've got that code that you could also put on. Let's say you had a static HTML page, or let's say that you were for an example, running Moodle in a subdirectory and it was linked to Joomla, and you wanted to track traffic to your Moodle pages, you could put this code into Moodle. Yeah,
that's it. The main goal is for another maybe more common goal is or usage is when you have landing pages that you create, like HTML landing pages that you create with some other tool, but you still want to include that because it's an important part of your traffic. You want to know which pages people are arriving at and which pages are more important. And so this is where you would use that.
Okay.
Yeah. A word about things that are missing. It's campaign tracking, where you could where you can share links with a specific code, and you want your analytics package to measure how many people are coming to your site or working or viewing your site coming from this particular campaign, and that's in there, but it's not done yet. The reporting and all that is not done yet. So it's going to be happening in version 2.0.
Okay.
In a few weeks or months, a couple of months maybe, that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, because Serge asked there, can he track Google Ads campaign?
Well, you will be able to track campaign. The database structure is there and everything is there, but you have to stop somewhere for version 1. And I think here we are covering a lot of ground already, but it's going to be happening. The campaigns are going to be the next line here, next report area here.
Cool. Well, that's really neat. A lot of so how many months you been working on this?
I don't know. We've been beta testing with Mark maybe since the end of November, and I think development started at the end of the summer, maybe that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fair bit of work.
Is there
now so many details that you need to work out? It's
Mark DeChevre, I don't know if you're still on here, but I just sent you a link to hop in on this Zoom call. It's there in Mattermost if you want to pop in, because I want to ask you what it's like working on an extension with Yannick. So, is there? So this is a pro version. Is there a light version, a free version?
No, there is not.
Okay, it's just the pro version.
No,
okay,
there is not, and I don't see that happening.
Okay.
Unless Joomla becomes 5 times bigger in the coming month, no, it's gonna be a paid only for solution.
Valerie wondered, will this run on a PHP site running PHP 8?
Yeah, it works. The requirements are Joomla 3, Joomla 4, Joomla 5, PHP 7.4.
Okay.
So yeah, you shouldn't have any problem running. And that's true for all my extensions. So you shouldn't have any trouble running my extensions unless you really have something really, really old.
Okay. Great. Yeah, so Mark is there. I've given him the link. We'll see if he pops in. I'm going to... Oh, here he comes. So let's just see here. Let me stop your screen.
Maybe I should stop sharing. Yeah.
All right, Mark's going to come in, and I'm going to have to figure out how to turn faces on again here. Oh, there. Oh, look, he's not. I'm used to him looking straight up at me. Let me. I'm used to him looking straight up. We're going to have a bit of an. We're going to have a bit of a.
Echo.
A bit of an echo, but that's okay. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. No. Somehow I've hidden myself. All right. Mark, how are you doing, man? All right. Mark, how are you doing, man?
Yeah. Do you still have the echo?
Yes.
Okay.
It's because it's coming onto your speaker.
Yes. Yeah.
It's coming onto your speaker. Oh, you might have to turn off the sound for YouTube as well.
Has become flat for both of them. Just 1 second. I just go and fetch another headset.
Okay. And Yannick, your camera's not showing.
Yeah, it's not going to work. It's too late.
Oh, it's too late. Okay.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have to reboot. Something is broken somewhere, and I have to reboot. Yeah, it's great. It's been on all afternoon for the last 5 hours or 6 hours. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Likely, it's the problem.
There's Mark.
Actually, I can just stop and try again.
Mark's the most important to see at this point.
Yeah.
And this is Mark coming on without warning everybody, which explains why he's having the tech issues and also why he hasn't shaved today. Yeah, it's the end of the day, Serge. It's time for you guys to sleep. Okay, speaker. Let's try to get this going here. Oh, almost there. There's Yannick's still picture. Okay, well, while we're waiting for Mark to do that, Yannick, thanks for showing this, and thanks for launching it on my channel. That's awesome.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me and creating a playlist and all of that. very, very honored. I'm sorry that the hardware didn't work that well today. Or the software, I don't know. It's always the software anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's all right.
It's a little bit of a drag, but
Okay. Well, Mark's there. He's got his headset on. I can hear him. And oh, so hey, there I am. I figured out how to get myself on there.
Okay.
Hey, there we go. Look at that. I'm a pro. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
and the
that's
headset works.
Yeah, and if you turn the sound off on YouTube, you won't get the echo too. That might be part of it too. But all right, Mark, what's it like working with Yannick, developing an extension, doing beta testing for him? Does he yell and scream at you a lot, or?
I'm not developing anything, but I'm just testing. Like it's interesting because all these extensions always make sense, are always very useful and very well done. So it's very easy because when my part starts as a tester, well, what I have in hand is already very good, right? So it's just that sometimes I have edge cases, like my subdomain with the presentations, which is not Joomla, which I want to track. So then I share the fact that, okay, it would be nice to be able to track an external website, even if it's not Joomla, and you can do anything. So sometimes I make suggestions and they are not good suggestions, so it's just thrown away. And yeah, but and also it's good because I test websites. I test the extension on I've done it on 10 different websites. Well, first only with 1 or 2, and then as it was doing a great job, I started to extend that to 10 websites. But sometimes you discover weird things on some websites. Yes, because it was a migrated website, and in that case there is an issue because the person before me who had built the website had changed some settings in Joomla. When you register new users, you can say that they are guests, that they are registered, sorry. And there it was said they were in some other group, and it had an impact. So yeah, it's always interesting to test it live on different websites because you can discover different types of bugs of edge cases.
Yeah, and it's important for me, of course, at the same time, because all these things, there's not a chance I would discover them by testing on my own websites or with simulated traffic, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're building stuff, there's things you just don't see. I think we've all had the experience where we put a site together and then we have a user contact and say, I'm in such and such an area and I don't know what to do. And it's like, what? Send me a screenshot. And then it's like, how on earth did they find their way into that? What? I'd never imagined they'd try to use it that way. And then it's like, oh, okay, I better change that around. All right, so Mark, you're speaking at J-Day USA in Washington in April, right?
Yeah, true.
And you're traveling there?
Yeah, first time in person.
Good. And then Yannick, you're traveling there. You're traveling there as well, right?
Yep, absolutely.
And
That's first time as well.
And I'm traveling there as well, so we're all going to be together. And there's a bunch of other people. I think Square Balloon, Ian Oliver, is he?
Ian,
yeah,
Eliza,
Ian, yeah.
Elisa, I think Elisa is traveling again, right?
Yeah, Elisa's going there. Nick from Akiba's coming, and Joe Sunny, I imagine, is going to be there. Adam Melker is going to be there. Olivier Buissard will be there. So it's going to be a good time to be together.
Let's see. I'm just checking the list here. Yeah, of course, Crystal. I'm not sure about Carlos.
Oh, Carlos Camera. Yeah, he might. No.
I'm not sure if it's live or.
The last time that I was in the same room as you guys was in Spain just before the pandemic. So that's going to be that's going to be nice. That's going to be 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We're older, and two of us are wiser.
I guess you're speaking about the people with gray hair.
Yes, I guess. Yeah. Although, as
surely.
you know, see, I've grown the beard out a bit. It's starting to. It's a new look for now. Mark, what have you been working on besides testing things for Yannick?
Today I released a huge website. So it's almost finished. We're still polishing some stuff, but it's for the Ministry of Culture website, gathering plenty of films, thousands of films, and the website is public. You can see all the details of all the films and Belgian films, movies. But all the teachers in Belgium have a special account, and so when they log in, they have a player and they can play they can watch the film so that they can show it to the students, etc. So yeah, it's a big thing.
Does it stream the videos?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's like a kind of private YouTube, if you like, because those videos cannot be public. I mean, it's like it's real movies that you're supposed to see in the cinemas.
Yeah.
But for the cultural centers, for the teachers, for different groups of people, they are entitled to have a login and password, but actually it's not a login and password. As a teacher in Belgium, you can log in with a central system with your ID, I would say. You can connect to all the services for the all governmental services with a kind of ID, electronic ID, so they can log into that Joomla website with that. And on top of the details of the films, they have the player, so they can stream the film and show it to the students and everything.
Does it alert when someone is logged in to watch a movie at 1 in the morning?
There are plenty of things, because the videos themselves, it's thousands of videos, so you cannot put that on a regular web server, and you don't want to put that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because you don't want people to sneak in the code and get the link or so. So the videos are hosted with Infomania, which is a Swiss host specialized in streaming. They, among their customers, they have many TV televisions for their broadcasting and everything. So that's for the videos, and the website itself is at Planet Hoster, which is a Canadian host. So I hope to please you by saying that.
Sure. Yeah, we like it when people are nice to Canada. Hey,
I was thinking of something. I was checking. I think because at the start of the session, you said that I appeared only twice at Basic Joomla, but I should check. I think it is maybe 4 times already.
Oh, really?
So I should check, but I think so. So actually, I would like to join the Club of Fives, right?
Oh, you know what? You have been on 5 times. Oh my goodness. So you did. Well, I just searched on my channel. On my channel here. So let's see. November 13th, 2019, you did part 1, Custom Fields part 1. Then the next week you did Custom Fields part 2. January the 8th, you did OpenStreetMap Joomla Custom Field on January 8th, 2020. Then you did Introduction to SCSS on December 16th, 2020, and then you did an introduction to Joomla API. So, oh my goodness, all this time. Yeah, so I'll give you your own playlist. Plus, you've been on until before today. You were on more times than Yannick, so you guys are tied in the club of 5.
Wow.
Okay. But I had a topic for a 6th session.
Oh boy!
Because I know you've already presented, made your own session about the smile pack of Tassos. Right?
Yes. Yeah, he was on and showed it. Yes.
Yeah. Very recently, actually, because I had no need for smile pack. I use convert forms a lot, for example, but smile pack for me, I don't need that. I don't need that. And for a website where some people rent a house in Italy for holidays, and they wanted to have a payment solution. And actually, I realized that the Smile Pack had a PayPal thing, and it's so easy to set up for a website and to combine it with convert forms. So you can have both to create a registration form, very complex with conditional fields and stuff. And at the end, you are redirected to a payment page where the amount is determined by what you've done on convert form in the first place. So if you're interested, we can do a session about that for bookings and registrations and holiday stuff. Payment, even if you're selling extensions or whatever, maybe you can do that.
Oh, that'd be great. When you want to do it?
I don't know. We can plan that.
Okay, we'll talk about it outside. Well, I'm sorry that I gave some of your glory to Yannick there, but now you guys are tied, and that means you'll be one ahead of him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yannick says that's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's all right. Yannick? What's your next extension going to be?
I have absolutely no idea. I have if you think about it, I don't have that large a number compared to some other extensions providers, but all of them are very, very, very large. So I may have picked, if I can use, I can use that. I may have picked, and in terms of number of extensions, just maintaining them right now is going to keep me busy. There are plenty of things happening. I have just doing version 2.0 of 4Analytics is going to be something. Things are changing in the SEO world. I mean, not that much, but you have things that obviously working nearly full-time on 4Analytics means that the other extensions hadn't, they were a bit left aside. There's been some releases, but it's keeping me busy. And I don't know what I'm going to do before I do it, so...
Hey, question. One thing I was wondering, Joomla 5 came out with some changes to the SEF plugin. Did that make anything in 4SEF redundant or different?
Nah, it's the things that changed are like minor things, but the big thing in Joomla is that it creates links or Ceph URLs based on menus, and 4Ceph does not. And Joomla is not going to change the way or the basic structure and the basic way it does Ceph URLs. And so they always, until that's changed, there's the need for Ceph is going to be exactly the same.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I was wondering if it fixed something that 4Ceph had previously fixed, or so you're saying it's still doing it a different way of creating the links?
It's the same thing since SH404 Ceph in 2007.
Okay.
Joomla uses menus to create Ceph URLs, and that's not a great idea. And SH404 Ceph started by fixing that, and I've just been going on since then.
Okay. Do the new settings in Joomla 5, if someone turns them on, do they conflict with 4Ceph?
Okay, I'm not sure I want to say that publicly, but I just disabled the whole thing, so it doesn't matter.
You just don't use that. Okay.
It would break. Some of them would break things, so I just disable the thing, deactivates the things that would be a problem.
Okay. Well, at this point in the stream, an hour and a half in, you're barely speaking publicly now, anyway. So.
Well, it's all recorded, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. That's true.
mhm.
Okay.
But to come back to your initial question, which was about potential new future extensions by Yannick Weeblr. I don't know whether he has plans. He says he has no plans at the moment. But actually, what might happen is that there are also those extensions work well together. So you could imagine that the information from 4Analytics helps to give information in 4SEO and or the other way around. So that could be interesting. So maybe there are even without new extension, there could be developments which make sense and could help the site owners improving their websites.
Yeah. Now, I kind of chuckled inside myself, Mark, when you said that sometimes you ask for things and basically you get no, and it's not going to happen.
No, that does not happen.
Oh,
That does not happen. It happens at the begining, but usually the next day or the following days, I come back and say, like, yeah, you realized what, like, these reports that are sent by email that we saw.
Yeah.
Initially, they were sent in the website default language, and which is good enough, right? But then, and Mark has lots of or several websites that are multilingual.
Yeah.
So he said, which language to use? Okay, default. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Use the default language. That's not bad. So yeah, I felt compelled to look at how things work, and now, if the email address matches a user that has an account in Joomla, then I go and read what's their language, and I send the email in that language. So you can have.
It's already done.
Yeah, I sent you a message on Mattermost, the changelog.
I had not understood that it was done. I thought it was for version 2 or 3. I was
No. I have a
sharing IDs.
No. I have a plan for version 2 of something, but that will need development. But no, that part is it was surprisingly complicated because Joomla doesn't want to do that. When the page is in one language, it doesn't want to load the translation strings from other languages. So it's been a bit tricky. So it took me like a full day just to do that, unfortunately, just before publishing everything. So
well, you're on a whole other level, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. At the end of the day, you need customers. I need customers too. So we'll see what happens.
Well, what I was going to say is, I've had extension ideas or ideas for things and mentioned them to people, developers, and they're very aware of how much work they have to do to maintain things and the load that is on them. And so I find them they very easily just say, oh, no, not doing that, or don't have time for that. Or if I did that, I'd have to maintain it. So that's what I meant. I mean, I've had people say too, oh, that's a good idea. I'll consider that for a future thing, or to have a feature request. So for instance, like Tassos with convert forms, I said, hey, can you add turnstile to as a CAPTCHA solution on there? And he said, well, he says, it's been requested, we've got it in there, but we'll just, this is where people can vote for it, and next couple of months or whatever later on, then he had added it. So that's good.
But coming back to 4Analytics, for me, it's really great because for a while now, I was using Plausible because of the, really, for all my customers, I would always explain them, okay, if you want to use Google Analytics, for me, no problem. It's not that there is more work or less work. It's not a question of cost or whatever. But are you aware that you have to abide by the law, right? To respect the law. So actually, you need a cookie banner. And if the people refuse the cookies, it means that your analytics are not tracking those people. Now, tell me, what is the percentage of people who will click yes and no? Is it 10%, 30%, 60%? So actually, you have analytics and you don't know how to extrapolate. Is your real traffic twice as much or just 10% more? You have no clue, no idea.
It's worse than that, Mark, because there is that, and there is also the ads and cookie blockers, like uBlock, Origin, and all of that. And that's these browsers extensions. They also block, like the first one they block always is Google Analytics. And so all like that, you've got, I mean, uBlock, Origin, and the other ones, they are like 20 or 30 million installations, at least. So you have a whole bunch of people you just don't see because the cookies are blocked.
Well, and you saw that early on in the stream because I had Brave browser and the block
same,
was on. And it was preventing
yeah,
that,
not the same thing, but similar. Yeah.
So it's not just that. The first advantage is that there is no annoying cookie banner, but the main thing I explained to the customer is that it's not only because of the cookie banner, it's because now you can track 100% of the traffic. Yep. Plus the philosophy, it's private analytics. You're not giving the information to, I don't know, an American company or another company, and you don't know what this becomes or whatever. So yeah,
but it's and I want to mention here, it's interesting because I have a page in the documentation, but of course you're not going to read that page. So I'm going to mention it. We are, Mark is from Belgium, I'm from France, and we have people in Europe, and so we are very focused on the GDPR. Yeah. But that's not the only legislation that looks like that does the same, and many legislations around the world have been modeled after GDPR, meaning that, and so in Canada, I'll have to check but Canada has a similar legislation. In the US, at least there is California, which has the CCPA, which is very much like GDPR. There is in Virginia, there is also a similar act, and so on. Australia, New Zealand, all of them have legislations similar in a way to GDPR. So it's not just for sorry, I'm doing this. It's not just for Europeans, that privacy thing. It's for a lot of people.
Yeah, another thing outside of the privacy thing is the Google Analytics script does slow down your page load time too at times. It's not always the fastest thing, but all right, so Valerie asked a question for Yannick for SEO. Derek in chat asked about the capacity of AI bots to scrape your site. So we'd love to hear more about that if there's time. So in 4SEO, there is a setting where you just tell it to block AI bots. Is that the case?
Yeah. So what's happening, there are two ways. The simple one is that if so 4SEO has a robots.txt file editor where it loads your robots.txt file, and you can modify it from inside 4SEO. And it also has a couple of buttons, and you click them. And if you click them, it adds to your robots.txt a series of instructions to block the most common robots, including the AI robots, user agents. So that's one way. And then the other way is because this has been questioned. Some people, I haven't seen that, but some people suggest that even if you block, for instance, in that case, it was Search GPT or ChatGPT user bot in your robots.txt, they still go and crawl your pages, which I think that person was not really clear on what they were doing, but there's still a chance for that. So what you can also do, and it's a feature in for SEO, you can add a rule very similar to what you've seen here in 4Analytics. You can add a rule that says if if the visitor is coming from this particular IP addresses or IP addresses range, or if the user agent has this particular string in it, then you can block it. Return a 404 or return a whatever 4403. So that's how it would work. But the basic thing is to use robots.txt to block them, and most of them will abide by that. A good question is whether you want that or not, and that's a big question.
Now, Mark, your site's half the traffic is that. Why do they not care that AI is visiting that site you mentioned?
Still need to have a chat with the site owners about that. I shared the information because I was really, it's a huge website. That's also a governmental website about health in Belgium. So plenty of information. And I think that's why half of the traffic comes from AI, because for other websites like mine, it's just a few percent. And so probably it's because there are 3,000 pages in 3 languages about many topics about health in Belgium. So probably it's a unique place to get quality information, and that's why they are pumping the information.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the question. And that's the question. You know, Derek and others talk about crawling and scraping the content, but the big question to be asked is whether you want that or not. And some people are going to not want that because they have some content that they want to keep for themselves, and they want visitors to come to their own website to see that content or that information. But some other people, they just want to divulgate information. They want, if you have if you're a teacher and you put up math courses, you don't care that people actually come to your website to see them. You care that the information is spread and people can actually use that. And if the information is used by a robot to, I'm not sure my example was very good, but if you want ChatGPT to be aware that there is a Joomla Day USA happening on such date and in such location in 2025 with such speakers, then you need to let them access that, because maybe somebody is going to ask ChatGPT, hey, is there a Joomla Day USA next year or this year? Where is it happening? So it depends on whether the type of content you have requires that people, or your business model require that people come to your place, to your website, or whether it's absolutely okay that and you actually want them to be aware of the proper information. In which case you're going to let them in and scrape all the content.
Yeah, I had someone contact me from a company saying, oh, we'd like to use your videos to train AI, and we've got this. You could make all these thousands of dollars. And I looked into the company, and it turned out they changed their name, and they basically want to have access to your YouTube channel and stuff. And so and some people had bad experiences. So I replied to the person. I said, well, no, I said, because they also didn't want anything on like watermarks on the screen, and I've got a subscribe button and things like that. So I said, I've got watermarks, I've got a lot of things, and I would never give up access to my channel or rights to. I said, but I'll tell you what I'll do is you can, when I make a video, I'll make a video with only the teaching in it, and you can train your AI models with that. And I said, and also I want to be paid in American dollars. So I haven't heard back from them yet, but because I had to think about that. I thought, well, do I want to control, do I want people only to come to me for stuff? And I thought, well, if they're going to pay for that and that works out, then I don't mind doing that. But again, everybody who's creating things and is creative has to ask whether they want to contribute that or not. And of course, a lot of the horse is already out of the barn already for a lot of that stuff anyways, so it's all being scraped. Well,
You
gentlemen,
should make a video. You should make a video about how to break a website or how to break an extension because you have some experience doing that
well,
extension.
I do one every Wednesday.
Well, you didn't break it.
No, no, I didn't break it. No. And remember, I don't know if you guys saw, we played Joomla Jenga. Were you in on that,
that
Mark?
was
Yeah.
great.
And to just everybody taking turns back and forth, turning off an extension till the site broke. And you were in on that, weren't you, Mark? I think.
Actually, the outcome was very different for for a Joomla 3 and a Joomla 4 website. I think
Yeah.
it was at the time of the migration. In Joomla 3, at the start, we were very cautious.
Uh-oh. You're frozen, Mark.
Yeah.
He'll be back. We played, all right, so while we wait for Mark to unfreeze, we played Joomla Jenga, which we just basically, you take turns turning off an extension. And then what we found out was that, like disabling extension, we found out it was really hard to crash Joomla 3 or Joomla at all by doing that because a lot of the ones are locked. And it was surprising how resilient things were that continued on. So, yeah, so
No, but it's easy. It can easily be done, but you have to put dirty your hands with code and things like that. Oh,
Yeah.
you're back.
yeah, he's back. No, we're just talking about when we played Joomla Jenga, we found it was very hard to crash a Joomla site by turning off extensions. So, but I do.
Yeah, exactly. In Joomla 4, you could not break it.
Yeah. So, although every now and then I do manage to do it. So, I'm going to do a video on this.
But
I've got
a little question for.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go, Mark.
Sorry. Yeah, a little question for Yannick, because I was speaking of potential interactions between 4Analytics and 4SEO in the future, if it makes sense. And I was just for clarification, I guess that when 4SEO is crawling my whole website, I guess that this is not counted by 4Analytics, right?
No, it won't be counted. Or you're gone again. It won't be counted. Yeah. Well, yeah. It won't be counted because 4SEO doesn't execute JavaScript. It's crawling that's done in PHP. So there's no JavaScript, and so there's no measurement.
Okay, so
And
don't worry about that.
even if you enable measurement without JavaScript, which is possible in the 4Analytics settings, that still relies on an image to be loaded, and 4SEO doesn't load all the. Hang on. Does it? Because it's a specific one. It's a no script kind of thing, and I'm not sure it's going to check that. So, yeah, but anyway, it's going to be discounted because it's going to be considered a bot. So, because it doesn't run JavaScript, so you're safe on that.
Okay, good then.
unless you enable count bots, which you're not supposed to do, because why would you do that? In which case it's going to be counted, but it's going to be okay because it's a bot, so it should be counted.
I'm getting some love shown to me in chat here. Vinny says that I can always find a way to break it, and Valerie misses days when I would break my own site weekly. Well, I did stop working on on my live sites on streams quite a bit, but
it's safer.
Yeah, although it's I'm not against doing it. So, well, Yannick, thanks for all your hard work making another great extension for the community, and Mark for testing it. And it's nice to and Mark for coming on here at the end. It was nice to hang out and catch up. I think tickets are on sale soon for J-Day USA. If anybody wants to,
they are on sale.
They are on sale.
It started today. Yeah.
Today. So if you want to come in person and hang out with giants like Yannick and Mark, then that's and the others that will be there, that will be good. And so next week, I don't know what we'll do next week. Mark might be on with his idea, or else we'll do it later on. But I do have a bunch of topics lined up, and so that's good. I can put in, but I really like having people on showing things because they do a much better job of anything that I try to find my way through. So. All right. If you guys want to stay on Zoom after I wrap things up here, that'll be great. I won't be able to hear you for a little bit because the music plays. But otherwise, everyone's saying thanks in chat there. Thank you, everyone, for watching today. And let me just see here. I've got my Stream Deck button to pick out here for the sad music. Everybody, thanks for your support of the channel. Thanks for tuning in today. And I hope that, as usual, wherever you are, be it morning, evening, afternoon, or tomorrow, that you are well. Till next time, enjoy your Joomla sites, and God bless.